All right, today we're putting together a kind of field guide, A guide to all those digital threats that are hiding right under our noses. We're talking about everything from viruses that spread like, well, a virus, to software that literally holds your files hostage. We are talking about malware. You ever get that feeling that your computer is working against you? Like it has a mind of its own? It's a pretty chilling thought, right? But in the world of malicious software, it's actually a very real possibility. So, let's pull back the curtain and see what's really going on behind your screen. Okay, so what exactly are we up against here? The big umbrella term for all this stuff is malware. It's pretty simple, really. It's short for malicious software. Just think of it as any program that was built with bad intentions. And those intentions can range from just, disrupting your workflow to causing some serious damage or even giving a total stranger complete control over your system. The best way to really get a handle on malware is to break it down. So let's start with our first category. I call them the spreaders. This is the kind of malware that is absolutely obsessed with just one thing, multiplying and moving. And the two most famous, or maybe infamous examples, viruses and worms. So let's talk about the classic computer virus. It's a piece of code that, a lot like its biological namesake, is just designed to replicate. But here's the crucial thing to remember. It can't do this on its own. It needs a host. Think of an email attachment or a software program. The moment you run that program, bam, you've unleashed the virus. A perfect and pretty famous example is the malicious virus from back in the late 90s. It just tore through the internet using infected Word documents and ended up causing something like $80 million in damages. Wild. So here is the key difference you absolutely need to remember. A virus is basically a passenger. It needs a ride, right? It needs you to open that infected file. A worm is a traveler. It's totally self-sufficient. It can crawl across entire networks all by itself. And here's the scary part, often without you doing anything at all. That ability to just move on its own is what makes worms so unbelievably fast and dangerous. All right, let's move on to our next category, the deceivers. Now, this brand of malware plays a totally different game. Instead of trying to spread on its own, it uses trickery, pure deception, to get you to open the digital door and let it right inside. And the most famous deceiver of them all is, you guessed it, the Trojan horse. The name says it all, right? Just like in the Greek myth, this is malware that disguises itself as something you actually want. Maybe it's a free game or a cool utility, whatever. You willingly download it, you install it, and only later do you realize you've just opened the gates to something, pretty nasty. And once it's inside, a Trojan can do some immense damage. We're talking stealing your most sensitive data. The Zeus Trojan, for instance, was notorious for this. It infected millions of computers just to steal banking information. But that's not all. It can also create backdoors that give an attacker remote control of your machine, it can corrupt your files, and it can even disable the very security software that you're relying on to protect you. It's a real nightmare. And then there's this little gem of a tactic, scareware. Oh, I am sure we have all seen pop-ups like this, right? Blaring warnings, screaming about hundreds of viruses, and your PC being at critical risk. It is pure psychological manipulation. It's designed to make you panic and trick you into paying for software that's completely useless, or even worse, is malicious itself. The irony is, in this case, the real threat isn't some imaginary virus. It's the warning itself. Okay, our third family of malware is all about one thing, money. I call them the thieves, and they basically have two main ways of getting what they want, either holding your data for ransom or secretly spying on you to steal it. And that brings us to the terrifyingly simple premise of ransomware. This stuff doesn't want to just mess with your computer. No, it wants to take something valuable, something personal, your files, your photos, your documents, and hold them hostage. So how does an attack like this actually work? Well, it's usually a three-step process. Step 1 is the infection, which often sneaks in through a phishing email. Step 2 is the encryption phase. This is where the software silently goes to work, scrambling all your personal files and making them totally inaccessible. And then, finally, Step 3, the ransom demand. A note pops up on your screen demanding payment, almost always in cryptocurrency, in exchange for the one key that can unlock your digital life. Now, the other kind of thief is a lot more subtle. We're talking about spyware. Think of it like a digital eavesdropper. It quietly installs itself on your system and just watches. It monitors everything you do, collecting all sorts of information about your activities, all without you ever knowing it's even there. And spyware has a few different tools in its toolkit. You've got keyloggers, which are particularly nasty. They record every single keystroke you make, capturing passwords, credit card numbers, everything. Then there's adware, which tracks your browsing habits so it can bombard you with unwanted ads. And of course, tracking cookies, which follow your digital footprint all across the web. But really, it's all designed for one single purpose: to gather your data. Okay, so we've met the spreaders, the deceivers, and the thieves. It's a pretty intimidating lineup, I know. But here's the good news. Knowing what you're up against is half the battle. Knowledge really is power. So now, let's talk about how you can fight back. Let's talk about building your digital shield. Look, the most important takeaway here is that a good defense really just comes down to good habits. Let me give you a simple 4-step plan. Number 1, update everything. Your operating system, your browser, your security software, keep it all up to date. Those updates aren't just for shiny new features. They have critical security patches that close the very doors malware tries to sneak through. Number 2, think before you click. Seriously, that one moment of hesitation before opening a weird email attachment can be the difference between staying safe and getting infected. 3, use good security software. Install a reputable antivirus program and let it do its job. Think of it as your 24/7 digital bodyguard. And finally, number 4, practice safe browsing. Just being a little more cautious about the websites you visit and what you do on public Wi-Fi is a super powerful defense all on its own.
So following these steps will definitely build a strong shield against the threats that are out there today. But, the digital world never ever stands still. So the real question is, as malware inevitably gets smarter, how do we stay one step ahead of it?